Here's a look at the SanDisk Sansa Clip Plus. This is a second generation clip. The main difference here being that they have added a microSD card slot. Now this will take up to a 32 gig card once they're available. Currently there are only 16 gig cards available right now. The player comes in 2, 4, and 8 gig internal memory, so potentially once 32 gig cards are released, you have the potential of putting 40 gigs in this small package, which is pretty nice. Upon holding it, the first thing you'll notice is they've really stepped up the build quality on this player. It feels a lot more solid compared to the last clip. Last clip felt kind of cheap. This is a little more, like I always say about creative products, where it's a well-made toy, very solid. You don't get much creaking, if any at all, on this. It just feels just much more solid than the last one. But they've also made a lot of design improvements on placements of the buttons, such as the volume button here. If you look on the old clip, you'll see that the volume button was on the right here. And now that posed a problem when you had big headphones plugged into there. It was difficult to get to your volume buttons there. So they've put that on the left near the USB slot. And one of the other things that they've changed is on the old clip they had a on-off plus hold switch on the side there. A little awkward. It works, but may not be as user-friendly as a button on the top. They've added this button here. This does your on-off by holding it. Then they move the hold functionality to a long press on the home button there. So you hold that down for a couple seconds. It goes into hold it down again, comes out of hold. Now, much of what was on the old clip remains the same on the new clip as far as UI and basic functionality, but just across the board there are just a lot of little tweaks improved within the player. Like for instance, if you notice here, menu buttons, menu scroll, a lot nicer here. There's actual movement in the menu. Just adds more to the intuitiveness of where you are in the menus and where you're going. So it's a minor improvement, but definitely adds to the player. Some of the menus have also been cleaned up a little bit here, better organized in the second version, in the Clip Plus. One thing, let me show you this, a lot of people will be excited about is it now has, you can browse by folders. So internal memory. Just like that. The other main difference here is the addition of slot radio support. Now slot radio is the card format that SanDisk is promoting as a new format. And this works, if you're familiar with slot radio, it works just like any other slot radio player does. You just pop this, there's my 16 gig card, pull that out, and this is a slot radio card. These sell for about $40 and contain about 1,000 songs, and they get grouped into different channels. So once you hop into here in the slot radio, you will see. So for instance, here on the top, that is the channel you're listening to, and then your menu button flips to the bottom there. So BBQ, road trip, house party, those are different channels. And then to skip forward through the music, and press that button. The thing about slot radio is you can't go back. Just kind of got to listen to whatever's coming with up next. You have no control over the songs. Just it's a radio on a chip, basically. That slides right up. Now, a lot of people also were concerned about how fast these chips refresh on the database. I found this 16 gig card is full, and I found that it takes about 2 minutes, can take about 2 minutes for the whole database to refresh in that. So you might not want to be changing your microSD cards too often. Just get a big card and put it in there. Should be set. But that wraps it up for the Sansa Clip. If you want to check out more information, check out our forums, anythingbutipod.com, or the full written review at anythingbutipod.com. Thanks.